What is going on? This is Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct once again for the year 2019. Happy New Year, by the way. And this is going to be for my Leos. This is a general reading for January 1st through the 15th, that whole time period right there. Even though this is kind of late, it's going to cover the whole time period for you guys. So, because it is a general reading, if it does resonate with you, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things that I like to see on the channel to let me know that it helps you out in some type of way. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can catch me on one of my previous readings or one of my future readings for Leo. Also, you may want to tap into a personal reading. Those are still open for all signs right now. And you guys can email me with the email in the description if you want to check me out there. So let's get into it, Leo. This is going to be your present energies right here, like we always do it, and then we're going to get into your futuristic energies going into mid-month and the end of January later on. All right, so without further ado, let's hop right in. Leo, starting off, we have the 10 of Wands. So this right here, it feels to me like you could have a need or desire to want to move beyond a certain cycle that you've been in. Maybe in the past you could have been, dealing with for the whole year of 2018 and even before 2018, where it just felt like you were kind of burdened a little bit, carrying some extra added weight. This could be external or internal, burdens that you just have been carrying. This could have to do with anything, whether it's like your job that you've been at and you kind of don't like, and it's kind of like this card, the 10 of Wands, usually represents something that we're having to carry that we don't want to carry. So like I was saying, a job that you're at that you just don't want to be at, but you need to be there because you need to make money, and you feel like you can't move on to something else because you haven't found a better job at the moment. Or if it's having to do with a relationship, it could be a relationship that you're in that you kind of don't want to be in, but you have a level of comfort there, or you just don't want to break the other person's heart, or you've been in it so long. It's a 10, so you've been dealing with this for a while, and 10s represent like the completion of a cycle. So you've had to go through from 1 all the way to 10. So you've been in this for a while. Let's say if you're single, you've been single for a while, and you're kind of like, it's getting burdensome to you. Like it's feeling like you're carrying around all this weight, and you just kind of want to let it go. So it's something going on, in your life. I'm feeling that it could be internal. You just feel like you've been carrying extra weight, baggage maybe from the past for a while now, and you want to move away from that as quickly as possible, especially with us being in the new year. You just kind of want to drop off all the baggage from the past and move on into the future, which is great that you have the Chariot card clarifying this 10 of Wands, because the Chariot card is kind of like the complete opposite of the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands, you can't move forward quickly because you're burdened so much with all the extra baggage and weight and responsibilities and just all these things that we place on ourselves in life that kind of make us slow down when it comes down to moving forward to our goals, our ambitions, our achievements, the things that we envision for ourselves. So with the Chariot card being the clarifier of this represents, the universal transformation that's happening around this situation for you, because this is a major arcana. Major arcana usually represents the things that are beyond our control, the things that the universe kind of steps in to help us out with, or give us some clarity around the situation. So you're getting the Chariot card, which means you're going to be moving away from this old cycle that you were in. It was a 10 anyway, so it was a completion. You completing that burdensome cycle, that karmic cycle, and so now you're wanting to move forward in a lot more, a quicker way, a quicker energy, a more efficient energy, because the Chariot card represents the balance within ourselves that allows us to move forward in a more efficient way. It represents the balance of our light and dark energy, our yin and yang energy, our right and left brain, our unconscious and conscious parts of our being, so it represents balance. And so if anything, this old cycle that you were in that was kind of like a burden to you, that you were carrying around all this weight and you couldn't get out of it. You felt like you were stuck in it a little bit and you just had to do it because it was your responsibility. If anything, that has taught you how to kind of balance yourself out in a way to where it's going to be beneficial for you in the future. Moving forward, you're going to be able to move forward in such a balanced way that, you can get things done a lot quicker than you were able to do them in the past. A lot of times we learn from the weights and the burdens that we carry, that it feels like the universe has placed on us and we aren't able to get out of those responsibilities. It's kind of like the karma that you have to kind of deal with in this life, and you feel like, it came out of nowhere and it's just like your path, the cards you were dealt. This is what the Ten of Wands usually represents. But if anything, the things we have to deal with in life and the path that we're on usually make us level up to a place that when we get finished with learning all those older lessons and dealing with all the older baggage and the hurts from the past, when we're done with it, we can move forward a lot quicker because we wrapped it up. We learned the lessons, we healed from all the pain that happened from the past, and now you can move forward in a more lighter way with less baggage. You see how free she looks in this card. Is kind of like the total opposite of this person that is kind of like weighed down and carrying all that weight on your shoulders. It's kind of like the weight of the world being on your shoulders, but now you're coming to a place where you're releasing all that. You're able to move forward in a more free, carefree energy. And it's only because you found a certain type of balance within yourself. Your internal balance is what's going to create external balance in your external world, because the external world has to mirror what's going on with us internally. And so I like this card because it's a card of freedom. It's a sign of you kind of being released from this Ten of Wands energy, and you now being able to move forward quick, direct, with a more balanced approach to life. So, makes sense. Moving down below that, Leo, we have the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles to me usually represents the way you give and receive. The way that you receive, when people are trying to give to you, or the way that you give, and doing it in a balanced way, because sometimes the things that can cause imbalance in our lives is the way that we give and receive. If you give too much and you're not open to receive in the same way that you give, then a lot of times you can get out of balance, out of sync a little bit, especially when it comes down to relationships, whether that's family, friendship, or romantic relationships, or work relationships. A lot of times if we give too much, then there's no room for us to receive because we're always the one giving. Or let's say if we don't give enough and we're always the one receiving, then it's kind of like it's no space for us, to give to others, and then others feel like you're a taker, So it's kind of like this card is something that either the cards, or the universe are beckoning you to kind of work on the way you give and receive, or maybe you're seeing the way you give and receive needs to be balanced out a little bit. And maybe that could have been what was happening up here, why you were kind of like feeling like you were carrying a burden around, because you could have been, let's say, a giver and you overgive, and that makes you feel like you're more burdened, when it comes down to your relationships. And so all in your past years, you could have been a giver, and you're starting to see like how much it burdens you down, and it causes you to not be able to move forward with your own goals and on your own path, and kind of like move at an efficient pace, because you may be giving out a lot of energy to the people that are around you, but not receiving back from them in a balanced way, in an equal way. So this is being worked on at this time with you. You could be learning some lessons about equally giving and taking, which is why you could feel that the burdens are starting to be lifted from you, and you're starting to feel like a more free, lighter energy within yourself coming into 2019, because you're learning that, hey, maybe I've been giving out a little bit too much. Probably especially in romantic relationships, because we had the Ace of Cups here, clarifying the Six of Pentacles. So this represents, an emotional new beginning. So maybe a new emotional beginning that you're in right now. You're trying to balance out the way you're giving and receiving. You want to handle this new relationship, this new love, this new connection that you're in, maybe differently than you handled older relationships, you know? And so you're kind of trying to have a balanced approach to the way you give your love, the way you give your emotions, and the way you receive it too, so that it can create balance and not create an imbalance within you and not have you feeling like you're burdened down, you know? I think you're tired of being in those type of relationships that make you feel like you're burdened and you have to be the one that's doing all the work and you have to be the one that's giving everything. You know, you kind of want to take on a new approach to your relationships and be the one that's kind of free, you know, you're carefree. You kind of want to be the one that's maybe showered a little bit with the giving, and you don't always want to be the person that's giving and the other person is always the one that's receiving, you know? And so that could be happening with an emotional connection, like I said, because we have the Ace of Cups here. We also have the Two of Swords, so maybe this could have you in a position to where you're stuck a little bit when it comes down to this emotional connection. If you're dealing with an emotional connection, I know that in your last reading, Leo, we were talking about you manifesting a great love. And this is kind of like still being repeated because that right there with this Ace of Cups right here, that looks like a great relationship, or a strong attraction, some type of soulmate energy that's happening right now. And I think what you're trying to work on is the way that you give and receive within it so that it won't get you out of balance. And so this could kind of, be causing some type of stuckness a little bit in your mind because you're trying to make a decision. Do I give into this relationship, as much as I usually do, or do I just kind of hold back a little bit and just wait to receive more than I usually get? Or it's kind of like you're trying to figure that out. Like, how do I give and receive in this relationship? Is this person that I'm attracted to right now going to kind of give back to me in the way that I give into them? Or am I going to be the one that has to create those boundaries of, holding back a little bit so that I can receive more in this relationship than I've received in past relationships? Maybe you could be thinking about that right now because you're still dealing with that strong connection, or you're trying to manifest that strong connection with somebody. And maybe the thing that has you caught up in your mind right now is the way that the giving and receiving is being done. You just kind of don't want to get it wrong. So the Two of Swords kind of represents, you just kind of not making a decision right now in the way that you're giving and taking because you kind of want to be cautious about it because you don't want to get out of balance emotionally. You don't want to give too much, of your energy, and then it has you feeling like this again. You just don't want to be burdened. And that makes sense, Leo. It does. I believe what's helping you out with that, though, is the way that you feel fulfillment within yourself, the way you're content within yourself, self-fulfillment, because we have the Nine of Cups here, and the Nine of Cups represents emotional fulfillment. But with you, I believe there's a transformation that's happening around the way you feel fulfilled within your own being, the way you fulfill yourself, the things that you do in life, the energy that you feel in your internal world that makes you feel content, so that you're not looking for that emotional fulfillment without yourself in your external world, even from a lover, even from, an emotional connection. You don't want to let that emotional fulfillment or that emotional connection be your actual self-fulfillment. You want to give yourself the self-love in a way that you can attract this emotional connection, but it won't be what's feeding you. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like you want to be in an emotional connection that's balanced. And usually the thing that gets it out of balance or gets that emotional connection out of sync is when we are, we have a need to be fulfilled by that other person instead of already being fulfilled within ourselves, So this is what could be being touched for you around this time, these first 2 weeks in January. It's kind of like you're focusing on fulfilling yourself, being content within yourself so that you don't need that from anybody. And when you do connect with somebody in an emotional way, it's not, a neediness that's happening because of it. It's not a clinginess that's happening, and it's not throwing the emotional connection off balance, because you're able to kind of have that emotional fulfillment within yourself, so that you can give in a way to where you're not looking to receive something back. It's kind of like, and that creates balance within a relationship. When you give not out of necessity, but you give just because you can, because you're already fulfilled within yourself, and then you can receive and it not be like the end all be all, because you're like, oh, this person just gave me some love. Wow, I got some love. You could be like, okay, yeah, that's what's up. Like, I appreciate that. Like, thank you for doing that for me. Cool. But I really didn't need it. Like, I appreciate it, but I didn't actually need it to be fulfilled. I'm fulfilled within myself. I have that self-love. So it's a transformation that's happening for you around that, because you have the judgment card right here. And the judgment represents an awakening. It represents a transformation. It represents a spiritual awakening, that the universe is kind of like calling you to. And so this could represent some healing that's going on around what I just explained. And you could be, having some things that triggers the way you give and receive, and the way you're fulfilled within yourself, just to be checking, like, are you looking for fulfillment out of yourself? Or do you already have that within yourself, so that you don't go around from relationship to relationship just looking for people to fulfill you? You could feel that you're fulfilled already. And so that when you get into a relationship, it's not about like what you can get from another person. It's about the equal give and take, like I was talking about here. What you can give and, what you can receive, how you guys can share with each other, and it not be from a necessity, because you need somebody to give it to you. Like, you already have what you already need, so that, it's a balance in the give and take. And so it's a transformation that's happening around that, and it could be this person that you're connecting with that's triggering that and making this whole awakening happen to you. But it's definitely for the good, because once you get to a place of the 9 of Cups, you feel content. You can breathe. You can be this person instead of that person. You can feel free and carefree, instead of feeling burdened and like you have to do so much inside of a relationship, or inside of your relationships in general. Moving right along, we have the 4 of Wands. So the 4 of Wands represents maybe a stable connection that you want to have with somebody, that you envision with somebody, or you envision for your life in general. You kind of want to have that marriage with somebody. You want to have a stable connection, a stable foundation to build with someone, and that stability is going to depend on everything that I talked about up to this point. Which is why, clarifying this 4 of Wands, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, she's all about stability, and she's all about balance too. So this could be the need for you to find that inner balance, or let's say the balance between your work and your relationships. What you have to focus on in your material world, and also not neglecting your emotional life, or not having your emotional connection with somebody make you neglect your material world. The Queen of Pentacles is good at balancing both of those worlds. So you could be having a need to balance a strong connection that you have with somebody, but actually not everything that I'm talking about here for some reason is talking about balance. Which makes sense, because at the bottom of the deck for you guys, we have the 2 of Pentacles right there. And the 2 of Pentacles represents balance, the need to balance, your world, or balance 2 different things. And with the Queen of Pentacles, she's about balancing her material world and her emotional world, her work and her home. And so if you're in a connection with somebody, or wanting to have a connection with somebody, it's going to require you balancing your emotional world and your material world, so that you don't get out of sync. You can still have that stable foundation that you're on when you're, let's say, alone and single. And when this new relationship comes into your life, if it hasn't already come yet, you want to be able to maintain your stasis, maintain your stability. right? Moving right along, we have the Queen of Wands that was right next to the Six of Pentacles here. So the Queen of Wands could be representing an energy that you're taking on. And that makes sense because you guys are fire signs, Leo. So this is definitely your energy. The Queen of Wands represents a passionate person, you know, that goes after their passionate pursuits, but they're doing it from the queen position instead of the king position. So this means that you're kind of wanting to attract whatever you're passionate about into your life. The queen is the social butterfly of the tarot, and she uses her attractiveness to connect and collaborate with people and to get whatever she is passionate about, whatever her goals and achievements are. She gets it done by collaborating with people and by using her attractiveness and her social intelligence to get the things that she wants. So this could be the way that you're pursuing maybe this love connection, this relationship, or you're just 10 of Cups, you know, your emotional fulfillment. Because we talked about the 9 of Cups and having that emotional fulfillment within yourself. The 10 of Cups is kind of like that complete emotional fulfillment. Like you have everything that you want, external and internal, you know, because the 9 of Cups for me, it kind of represents that internal fulfillment that you have within yourself, and you're kind of like, I'm content, like I kind of have what I need within myself. But then that 9 is what attracts the 10. The 10 is having that emotional fulfillment inside and outside, that you feel like you're like this, because this person is kind of like sitting down and content and like, you know, I have everything that I need. But this person is in euphoria with the level of contentment, you know, contentment that she has. And you're like, yes, this is exactly what I want. This is what I envision for my life. This is what I want to have. This is what emotionally makes me feel like I have heaven on earth. That's what the 10 of Cups represents. So you're going about that in a way that the Queen of Wands would do it, and she attracts what she wants. She's kind of like that magician who uses the law of attraction. And because the king goes about it from a state of, you know, the what is the word? Gosh, I can't think of the word. What is the word? I won't stop until I think of this word. Oh yeah, the masculine. Okay, so the king goes about it from a masculine point of view, and the masculine energy or representation talks about us going, you know, externally to get the things that we want, and we're kind of like ambitious about it and taking it on in a more external way and a more like, you know, confrontational way. But the Queen of Wands does it in a more passive way. She does it in a more like law of attraction type of way. And she kind of like uses her attractiveness to make those things that she wants attracts to her or gravitate to her, right? So you're using your attractiveness this month to have those things that you feel will emotionally fulfill you gravitate to you, which makes sense because we have that give and take card. It's kind of like you want to be the one that has the people around you or this new emotional connection. You want that person to shower you with the emotions that you want. You know, you don't always want to be the one that's kind of like doing all the work in your relationships. And now you're kind of like sitting back and taking on that Queen of Wands role where you're using your attractiveness, you're using all the assets that you have to have that you know, that love showered on you, because you ultimately love yourself. And when you love yourself, people just want to give you more love. When you have something already, you get more of it. That's the law of attraction. That's like a universal law. If you already have it, you will get more of it. But if you feel like you're lacking and you need it, then you will get less of it. It will run away from you. It will elude you. Right? So that's the lesson that I think you're learning at this time when it comes down to your romantic relationships. Those things that fulfill you. The things that, you know, give you an emotional high. You know, and you have a completion when it comes down to your emotions, which is why you could be taking on this Queen of Wands energy. You kind of want to sit back and attract it. You don't want to always have to be the one that's just giving it out to everybody. You want to receive. And we do that first by giving to ourselves, and then people will give in to us. For some reason, it works that way. I don't know why. I didn't make the rules, but we're moving right along. Future energies. Leo, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Strength card, and then we have the Fool card. So a lot of major arcana in your future energies, which lets me know that the universe is going to be helping you out moving forward in the year 2019, especially in the month of January. Knight of Pentacles could represent a new beginning or a new offer that's coming in that has to do with your financial status or your finances in general. This could be a new job promotion that comes in, a new career that you want to start, or something new that you kind of want to focus on when it comes down to another stream of income. So this could be something that you want to start on the side, a business, a project, something that you want to use to build your financial success or your material world. And so going into mid-month or the end of January, you could be focusing on your pinnacle and a new beginning in your pinnacle. It is clarified by the Empress card, which is another major arcana. So it's kind of like something that you're wanting to birth out right now. You're wanting to create from out of your creativity, your intuition. You're feeling kind of fertile right now, maybe when it comes down to your business, your money, your finances, your material world. And you want to use that fertile energy that you're feeling around yourself to plant a new seed of, finances or financial path. So this is a new beginning that you're having inside of your material world that you're kind of like focused on a little bit moving forward. Or it could be coming into you because you're kind of like taking on that attractive nature of the Empress, that attractive nature of the Queen of Wands. And so someone could be coming in with an offer. Now, this doesn't have to do with finances. It could be a earth sign that's coming in and kind of feeling attracted to you, and they're wanting to make you an offer. So you could have a Knight of Pentacles coming towards you, and that is a slow-moving knight. But this is a stable knight at the same time, because all the other knights are not that stable. They move in very quickly and fast, like the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords. But the Knight of Pentacles moves in kind of like at a slower pace, but it's a more stable offer that's being made. It's a more grounded offer that's being made. It may not be as emotional or as passionate or as even logical at the same time, with all those nights I just explained, but it could just be very stable and grounded, and kind of like a stable offer that's being made. And whoever could be coming in towards you, if this is resonating with you, could be focused on building something for the future. And they kind of see you as somebody that they want to build with. They want to kind of invest into. And they think that you could probably invest into them too, and you guys make a good match. But they see you as the Empress, which is why they're wanting to kind of like come with this offer, because they see you as somebody who is sitting in their authority. They're nurturing. They're kind of like the motherly. The Empress is the mother of the tarot. So you have a level of nurturing and attractiveness about yourself, which is why the person that could be coming your way wants to offer you this offer, this stability, because they see you as a stable person at the end of the day. Right below that, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune represents a shift that could be happening. This is a major arcana. So with it being clarified by the Hierophant, this could be a shift that's happening in your just belief system, in the way that you traditionally usually do things. Just your beliefs in general could be changing at this time. And I think that is having to do with the way you deal with your relationships. Like I was explaining this whole reading, maybe you have been the one before where all the weight has been placed on you in relationships, and you're kind of choosing to not be that person anymore. So this could be a shift that's happening universally for you. The Wheel of Fortune, represents a cycle that ends and a new one begins. And some things have been changing because of this shift. And it could be in, your belief system or your beliefs in relationships. I believe that's what it is, because this whole card has been talking about how you want to change up the way you give and receive, and the position that you probably have been taking on in most of your relationships is now changing because you've learned some valuable lessons in the past, going through that 10 of Wands ordeal, this long, burdensome road that you've been on. And now that you're dropping those burdens, you've learned so much, and now you kind of are taking on a different approach when it comes down to relationships, and you can feel it happening. But it may be still brand new for you, but overall, it's going to be a shift that's happening in your outlook in relationships. The Strength card, you're also taking on the strength that you need to take on this position in your relationships. Because what's going to be happening, I believe, is that a lot of fears are going to come up with you wanting to approach relationships in this different type of way. And the fears that you could be dealing with is what I talked about earlier. Maybe your fear of abandonment, or your need to kind of like be loved by somebody, and you're kind of like facing those now. You're getting the strength from the universe. This is your card too, Leo. You could be taking on that Leo nature, that fiery, passionate, lion-like energy, and bringing it to the surface to deal with some of the fears that are resurfacing, maybe from your past. These fears come from out of your subconscious mind, and you're now dealing with them, which is good, but it's not always pretty at the same time. So you need this strength card to kind of like be with you, so that you can deal with these shadow aspects of yourself, these inner demons that you kind of like have to fight a little bit and face in order to move forward, in a more healthy, balanced way, in order to move forward in that chariot energy like I was talking about. It takes some work, And so the Strength card is here to kind of like give you that boost of energy, that courage to face your fears, to face the parts of you, that maybe you haven't been seeing, and that eluded you in the past, and now you're kind of like, it's coming to the surface. So it's a chance for you to deal with it, and so that you can take on a new position and a new role in your relationships, and you're not the one that's being used. You're kind of going into more balanced relationships where you're not attracting people that are users and abusers. You're attracting people that actually want to give something to you, and you're attracting relationships that have equal give and take, so that you're not always the one that's kind of like giving, and now people want to give to you as much as you give to them, so that's what you're dealing with on the internal subconscious level. And then we have the Fool card, which represents a new beginning. You taking a leap into that new area of your life where, you're the person that's going to be the one being given to for a chance, right? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune popping up again. So it's definitely a shift that's happening. And all these major arcanas represent like the universal energies backing you up. And this shift taking place, whether you like it or not, because it's just time. The Wheel of Fortune represents that, that time where it's like a whole, you're taking it on, as the Fool. You're ready for it. You want to take that leap into this new world. You want to take that jump into this new world and this new energy, because it's just time. You've completed that old karmic cycle where you were the one, having to do all the work and carry all the weight and have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Now it's going to be time for you to start receiving some of the blessings, and you being the one that's adored, and people shower blessings on you, and people come looking for you, and you attract great things into your world, instead of having to work so hard for it and feel like you have to do everything just to get a little bit, but you're learning how to attract and use the law of attraction, to bring those things into your life and do less work to do it. The law of least effort is something maybe you want to look into, because a lot of times it doesn't take us breaking our backs to get the things that we want in our life. And that's the lesson that the universe is kind of like teaching you at this moment. Whether it's in your finances, in your love life, in your personal relationships, in your work relationships, and just the way you view yourself, the universe is kind of showing you that you can attract these things into your life like the Queen of Wands does through her beauty, her magnetic personality, which you Leos have. You can attract the great experiences into your life that you want to have and partake in. So that's what you're doing. You're taking that leap into this new cycle that the universe is kind of like opening up for you, this big new opportunity for you to start becoming that person that I've been explaining this whole entire reading. So good luck with that, Leo. I like it. Good luck with the love connection if you're still dealing with that we talked about in the last reading. Good luck with 2019. Happy New Year once again. If you want to get a more personal reading, then you could email me, and my email is in the description below this video. Also, like I always say, if it resonates with you, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, because I like all those good things. And Leos, I like how you guys came out last month and you I think you had about 1,000 views on my video. I appreciate the love, Leos. Keep coming out, and I'm going to keep giving you the clarity that you're looking for, all right? See you later. You're taking it on, as the Fool. You're ready for it. You want to take that leap into this new world. You want to take that jump into this new world and this new energy, because it's just time. You've completed that old karmic cycle where you were the one, having to do all the work and carry all the weight and have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Now it's going to be time for you to start receiving some of the blessings, and you being the one that's adored, and people shower blessings on you, and people come looking for you, and you attract great things into your world, instead of having to work so hard for it and feel like you have to do everything just to get a little bit, but you're learning how to attract and use the law of attraction, to bring those things into your life and do less work to do it. The law of least effort is something maybe you want to look into. Because a lot of times it doesn't take us breaking our backs to get the things that we want in our life. And that's the lesson that the universe is kind of like teaching you at this moment. Whether it's in your finances, in your love life, in your personal relationships, in your work relationships, and just the way you view yourself, the universe is kind of showing you that you can attract these things into your life like the Queen of Wands does through her beauty, her magnetic personality, which you Leos have. You can attract the great experiences into your life that you want to have and partake in. So that's what you're doing. You're taking that leap into this new cycle that the universe is kind of like opening up for you, this big new opportunity for you to start becoming that person that I've been explaining this whole entire reading. So good luck with that, Leo. I like it. Good luck with the love connection if you're still dealing with that we talked about in the last reading. Good luck with 2019. Happy New Year once again. If you want to get a more personal reading, then you could email me, and my email is in the description below this video. Also, like I always say, if it resonates with you, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, because I like all those good things. And Leos, I like how you guys came out last month and you I think you had about 1,000 views on my video. I appreciate the love, Leos. Keep coming out, and I'm going to keep giving you the clarity that you're looking for, all right? See you later.